We're going to use problem-solving boards to analyze questions. It's so much easier and more effective. In this question, Savannah opens a savings account and the equation f of x equals 250 plus 300x represents the amount of money in Savannah's savings account after x months of saving. After talking to a financial advisor, Savannah decides to make a change. This change in savings can be represented by the equation g of x equals 250 plus 400x. Which of the following describes this change? Now we're going to use the problem-solving board, and on this step you can see that it really looks like a four-corner. The first part of it, the top left corner, is for all the information that you see. And so in this case, we can see that they are, you see the equation in slope-intercept form, and slope-intercept form because this is the form y equals mx plus b. So the first equation there is 250 plus 300x, and that is in slope-intercept form. And the other equation is 250 plus 400x. Now the other thing that we see is that there is a change in m. Since m is the coefficient of x, we see that the m in the first equation is 300, and then the m in the second equation is 400. We also see that there has been no change in b. b is the y-intercept, and it stays at 250, as we can notice from the from both of the equations. You still have the 250. We also notice that the question says describe the change. Now for plan, we're just going to interpret the meaning of slope and y-intercept in the situation and explain the change. Now, when you come to the do segment, this is when you actually do what you have planned to do. So we're going to write down the meaning of slope and y-intercept under the do section. Now, the y-intercept 250 is the initial deposit Savannah used to open the savings account. And since it didn't change, we cannot use choice A or C, because here it says the initial deposit, which is the y-intercept, increased by 100. Well, it didn't change, so we can't say it increased. So that is out of the we can cross that out. We can also cross out C because it also says the initial deposit decreased, and it did not. Next, we go to the meaning of slope. Now 300 and 400 represent slope, which means the monthly deposit made into her account, because X means months. It says it right here where it says after X months of savings. So since this represents the monthly deposit or monthly contribution into her account, we can see that the choices are between B and C. But here, the original amount was 300 and now it's 400. This represents an increase, not a decrease. So now we can cross out choice B as well. And that leaves us with the correct answer, which is D. So now we're going to reflect. So for reflection, the question we ask is, does my answer make sense? And we're simply just finding out ways to make sure we can test what we've said. Since we've said that D is the correct answer, that a monthly contribution increased by 100. There's many ways we can reflect. That includes checking the equation, checking the table, and using the calculator to just verify that this is actually what we said is happening. Because there are several ways of doing this check, I won't go into all the various ways, but basically this is just a way to go back to see if you answer the question and if your answer makes sense. So the end.